you've accepted that you, not everyone can be in a friendship with you, and someone with mental illness is probably difficult to be friends with them,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and I get it because I am that person. I
It's
understand it even more,
right. It's
but it took a
frustrating.
long time for me to get to the point where I actually understood that. But it turned like a light switch when I finally understood there's a reason why these people have left my life, and it's because they have their own problems. They have their own mental health issues, or they have their own, happy life that they don't want to let something like that in on. And that's understandable, because if I had, and I think this is mostly because I'm an empath, if I had a happy life, if I had everything I dreamt of, everything that made me happy, I don't feel like I would need to let just anyone into my life. You'd have that option of just saying, I don't need just anyone in my life. I want people that matter. People that know they can deal with my stuff. People that know what I'm about and they can still love me for who I am.
So you're just like really teaching me.
I'm glad. Even things I enjoy, I have a hard time doing. And I understand that flaking out on something consistently over and over again will wear down the person that's inviting you over and over again eventually. And they'll just be tired of the behavior, and that's their line. That's their limit. That's why they can't continue to be your friend. You eventually become like the girl who cried wolf. You say, don't stop inviting me places, and then eventually they do. And that's because that's the limit. That's their line. That's what they've reached. They can't do it anymore. And I get it, because being flaked on isn't a good feeling. It's not fun to make plans with someone, look forward to something, and then have that thing fall through the day of because the person's having a fucked up day. That's basically the biggest example of why it's hard to be friends with somebody that has a mental health issue, because I think we flake more than anybody on the planet. And I think it's because we suffer more than anybody on the planet, unfortunately. So that's just like the big primary example of why. The others are the obvious reasons, because mental health isn't meant to be pretty. It's not a pretty thing. It's a health issue. It's a, for lack of a better term, it's a disease. It's a disorder. It's a something. Do you know what I mean? It's something not normal, although it's becoming more normalized, and that's something that I'm aiming for, or trying to destigmatize, if that makes sense. So the overall mental health hurts not just the person who suffers, but the people around them for that reason. That's number 2. As a whole, I summarized it. I think the only other thing I could really think of or say in this particular subject would be that it's hard to have mental health issues yourself and also be friends with people who also suffer from mental health issues. And I say that again from my own experience, because even though I can empathize what that person's going through, there's times where I just don't have the energy to deal with what they're dealing with, or go through what they're going through, or listen to what they're going through. Sometimes we just can't, because we have our own shit. And I think that applies to anyone who doesn't deal with mental health as a problem in their main life.